There's one morning as I'm getting ready for school, I open up my iPhone notes and I look at something that I wrote a few months ago. It's my goals. And recently I've been taking my goals more seriously and looking at them every single day, as my deadline is December the 2nd and today it's the 7th of July of 2024. So I've been taking them more seriously, but for the past 7 months, I have barely made any progress towards them. It's felt like I've been making progress, felt like I've been doing stuff, but nothing has really changed in my life. When I go back home that same day, I went up to my room and I started searching up how to get rid of my acne. And the video that I watched told me something very valuable, something that I knew was going to change the way I saw progress and the way I made progress for the rest of my life. And I knew that it was never going to be the same. And within a few minutes, I learned something so simple that it made me feel stupid for not knowing. And I knew my productivity, my ability to make progress was never going to be the same after this new lesson that I learned. And this was a few months ago, this was a few weeks ago, and when I learned that, guess what? I started actually making progress, I started actually seeing results, I started getting 1k, 2k, 3k views on my YouTube videos. And when I learned this lesson, I wanted to use this on all my goals. And the two outputs that I got was that I just need to work and get rid of my acne. If I want to look more attractive and get more girls, I need to get rid of my acne. If I want to just get more results in business, I need to just do the work. And guess what? When I actually started doing these two things, I started actually seeing results. When I started kind of getting rid of my acne, more girls were into me. When I started actually doing the work, I started actually getting 1k views, 2k views, 3k views. And those were the exact two things that were holding me back. And it sounds so simple and so obvious, but I wasn't doing them. And you're probably not doing them. You probably have two things that are really holding you back that you're probably not paying that much attention to. And that's kind of like what I want to speak about this video, how I make progress and how I really started making a lot of progress to get a 1k views, 2k views, 3k views in a really short amount of time. So I do want to share that with you, and you'll probably find a lot of value in this video. Let's imagine this. There's this dartboard in front of you and you have one dart in your hand. And you hitting the bullseye is you achieving your goals, right? But let's say now you have a blindfold on and you're spinning. So not only are you spinning, you're also completely blind and you're trying to still hit this bullseye. How likely is it for you to actually hit that bullseye? Not very high, right? This is how I used to navigate my life, and I hope you're probably, and how many people navigate their lives. They just kind of see their goal vaguely and kind of want to reach it, but they don't know what to actually do to get it. And it's kind of like you just spinning around in circles trying to hit this bullseye with a complete blindfold on. You don't even know where you're going. People don't even have goals. Think about that. People don't even have goals. And that's exactly the type of person I was. I didn't have goals. I didn't know what to work towards. Therefore, I wasn't getting any results. And therefore, it felt like I was being productive, but I wasn't really doing anything that gave me any results. And I realized you can't just make progress just by doing things and hoping you'll get there. And what I'm telling you now is going to be the benefits that you achieve whenever you do set goals and focus on the constraint, which is basically the two main lessons of this video. And it's almost like everything I do right now has a purpose towards one of my goals. Right now, I'm recording because I want to be making money online, because I want to help people, and therefore you're going to want to help me, right? And therefore, I'm going to be getting views, I'm going to get more confidence, I'm going to feel status, I'm going to feel more confident, I'm going to try more girls. I'm watching certain YouTube videos to achieve my goal, to actually clear up my face, not just kind of mindlessly learning, just kind of actually actively learning and learning specific things that will actually boost me to the next level. And when I actually started to do this, stop shooting into the dark and actually focusing on my constraint and actually having clear goals, that's when I actually started making progress. I keep mentioning this, but it's so simple and it's so stupid how most people just don't have goals and don't know what to focus on. Because they just vaguely see things and they feel like they're making progress and don't make any progress. And that's exactly what I used to be like, and that's exactly where I want you to stop being. I want you to actually start making progress and seeing tangible results and actually having clear goals that you want to achieve and doing everything with a purpose. There are really only two things that have really exploded my progress, therefore my productivity, that I'm going to tell you in this video. And there will be a bonus at the end that will really help you. That basically just makes work really easy and fun. I want you to picture the dart scenario again, where you're spinning and you have a blindfold on and you're trying to hit the bullseye, which is you hitting the goals. That's how most people navigate their lives, hoping they'll get somewhere. I remember back when I was doing copywriting, I wanted to make money. This was like months ago, almost last year. I wanted to make money through copywriting, but I just didn't really align any of my life to it. I didn't really focus on anything. I just kind of vaguely wanted to make money. I didn't even have goals. So guess what? I didn't get any results. I didn't really do anything. And everything, I just kind of worked, hoping that I'll eventually get money. And I didn't. And that's because I had no plan. Trying to do this, almost like you're walking in a jungle in random directions, hoping that you get to the other side. And fair enough, eventually you might get to the other side, but it's going to take you so long if you just keep going in random directions. If you just put a robot and you just send it in random directions. Eventually you'll get to the end, but after a long time. So you want to shortcut that process. And you can do this by setting what I call December goals, where you set goals for almost like the end of the year. I'm going to tell you the exact things that you want to do near the end of this video. So it's like clear roadmap of the actionable steps. I'll give you actionable steps at the end of this video, but I want to explain the theory behind every single tactic. So December goals is where you set goals and basically just align your whole life, your whole year towards those goals. And these goals are usually the ones that will change your life the most. So you actually have an idea of where to go instead of kind of just going in random directions hoping that you'll get somewhere. I still find it crazy how most people want to make money, how most people want to, I don't know, build the physique, how most people want to do anything without having to go for it. They just kind of want it. And your mind is literally designed to achieve goals. Literally. You literally have a success, and this is what Psycho-Cybernetics, if you've ever read the book. Let me just get it. This is what the book Psycho-Cybernetics talks about. You literally have a success mechanism inside of you. I want to actually give you a story that actually happened to me once, which was when I was in a trip and I wanted to speak to this girl. And I visualized myself speaking to her, like really visualized myself speaking to her. And I thought to myself that, oh, I'm going to speak to her like this, I'm going to tell her this, I'm just going to ask her a simple question. And guess what happened? I spoke to her. And actually, let me give you more detail. I didn't just speak to her. I was walking around this stop that we were making, and I just saw her alone. And I thought to myself, oh, she's alone. And my subconscious noticed that. It wasn't that me consciously thinking that, oh, I'm going to speak to her. I didn't constantly think about that. It just my subconscious picked up on it. And I went up to speak to her because she was alone. The only reason I did that was because my success mechanism, my subconscious, had the goal of actually achieving that. So it's crazy how why would you not have your subconscious working towards you and literally giving you ideas on how to make more money, how to actually get more money, how to achieve your goals. For example, for me, I remember every single time that I'm on the bus, I always get random business ideas. And that's because my subconscious had the goal to make more money. And therefore, more money basically means more business ideas. So now that you have goals, and remember, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do so you can actually set these December goals correctly. So you don't just mindlessly consume this video and not take any action. I want you to actually take action because that's when you're going to get the best results. Basically, take this metaphorical blindfold off. Now you're actually working towards a goal, but you're still spinning. And that's the issue is, and that's exactly what I learned in the video that I told you at the beginning of the video. And I was talking about constraints. And I found it so interesting. It was about a millionaire he's a millionaire. He was talking about just constraints. And he just said it in such a, how would you even say, like, nonchalant way. He was like, oh yeah, so the constraint for this guy is because his acne looks horrible. It was basically like a video on him explaining how a guy can, it was Hamza, you probably already know him actually. It was Hamza telling this guy how he can improve his acne. You already know Hamza, he's a multi-millionaire, he's got millions of subscribers, he makes over 100k per month. So he said it so easily, so I was like, oh, I should probably make that a norm in my mind. And the constraint is basically what is holding you back from really achieving your goal. For example, for me, it used to be just working. Now that I'm actually just working, just actually scripting the video, recording the video, that's when I'm actually getting results. And these videos are probably going to get a few thousand views, maybe a few hundred, a few thousand, because I actually did the work to do them, because I actually spent time in doing them. Another constraint was my acne. I don't know if you can see it that well, I do have a bit of acne. My forehead, yeah, a little bit. So that's a constraint of my looks. So I have the goal of wanting to get at least 10 girls who are into me. That's like kind of like my tangible goal. I didn't just want to become more attractive. I wanted like a tangible goal, which is get 10 girls that are into me. And I thought to myself, okay, what's the constraint to that? Oh, it's probably my acne. And I realized when actually applying this theory of constraints into my actual life, into my goals, for example, I wanted to attract 10 girls by the end of the year, or at least have 10 girls that are into me that I can visibly see that have told me or something like that. I thought to myself, oh, I need to improve my looks. So one main part of my looks is my face. And I thought to myself, okay, so what's really holding my face back? It's not my jawline. My jawline is pretty good. It could be better, but it's pretty decent. My eyebrows, yeah, I actually want to mention this. I was watching like these glow up videos, and I saw that plucking your eyebrows made you look a little bit better, and I did that, but it barely even made a difference because there's one main constraint that's holding me back, which is my acne. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I have pretty decent acne, and I know that if I get rid of it, it'll probably bump out my looks pretty well. And then I'll have to look for my next constraint, which when I do get rid of my acne, might be my jawline. I could improve my jawline by, I don't know, nasal breathing more, taping, I don't know, doing a lot of things. And this is so nice because now you know what to actually look for, what to actually search up on YouTube, which is so nice. So I've kind of just, I hate it when this used to happen to me because you probably relate to this. You watch like business videos or glow up videos or looks maxing videos with just kind of hoping that you get a lesson that's going to help you. You kind of just hope that this video will give you the lesson that you're missing. For example, when I was watching glow up videos, I was hoping that it gave me some magical tactic that was going to solve all my problems. Until I actually started focusing on the constraint, and that was when I was actually actively looking for videos on my constraint, which was about acne. And that's when I started looking for videos on my business, which was doing the work and being productive. And that's when I actually started seeing results. It's crazy how people don't focus on their constraint, and I used to be the same. So if you are not focusing on your constraint, I don't want you to feel bad, because it takes time. And how did you metaphorically stop spinning and actually trying to hit this bullseye with looking for the constraint? I hope you do understand what the constraint is. The constraint is basically what is holding you, what is the main thing that's holding you back from achieving your goals. For example, for me, attracting girls is my most important thing, is my acne. If I get rid of it, it'll make the most change. For example, with my business, if I just work, it's going to give me more results. It's not, let's say I change my thumbnails, I change my, I don't know, titles, like it might get me some results, but I need to first actually just do the work, get the videos out, and then maybe focus on that. That might be the second constraint after that. But there's still one last thing. You might be standing still, trying to hit this bullseye without a blindfold, you can see clearly, but without the reason to just shoot this dart, you're never going to hit the bullseye. Imagine you're just standing in front of this bullseye, but you just have no reason to shoot them. You're never going to hit the bullseye if you have no reason to do it. And I realized when you actually unlock this and you become dissatisfied, which is the exact tactic you're going to use, which is the exact tactic I've used and I'm going to teach you, is becoming dissatisfied. When you actually unlock that, you just naturally start making more progress, you naturally become more productive, you naturally just start getting better at everything, because you just have a reason to do so. So you start naturally doing it. And I want you to visualize this. Imagine you're standing on some burning rocks right now. Your feet are basically in pain. You're going to want to jump off of those rocks as fast as possible, right? And that's what dissatisfaction is. We as humans are wired to run away from pain and into pleasure. Not necessarily into pleasure to most pleasure. Because most people do this. They kind of have they kind of see their life as an okay life. They kind of like, oh yeah, I might be broke, but I'm okay. For example, for me, it's kind of easy for me because I can think to myself, oh, I don't need to make money. I don't need to attract girls because technically I'm young. I can do it when I'm older. So that's really easy for me to be complacent, for me to be satisfied. But I found a way to basically be way dissatisfied with my life that I'm going to tell you later in the video. And that's when I've actually started to run away from pain and into pleasure. Because imagine, let's say you've run away from these hot cold rocks into the sand, and now you're in sand, but you could be on this red carpet. There's really no motive for you to go into that red carpet. It's not like you're just going from pleasure to more pleasure. There's no motive to do that. I do want to mention, if you're getting value from this video and you're learning a few things, I do have a paid coaching that is set up on this site called School, which will be the first thing in the description. You can just go check it out at least. And my promise is to basically make the work that will usually take you 1 week for you to do in 1 day. And that sounds crazy, but I have had days where that's happened to me, where I've done the work that it usually takes me 1 week in just 1 day. With the tactics that I know, there's a lot that I know that you could be basically benefiting from. You could just imagine doing the work that will usually take you 1 week in 1 day. That's crazy. So you can just check it out. That'll be the first thing in the description. I'm going to be building a course there with you soon. So if you don't want to be part of that, you can just join right now. And it's pretty cheap at the moment. It's going to increase the more people that join. So you might want to check it out right now. And just as a bonus, that course that I'm talking about is going to be probably done near the end of July. So if you do want to join and be part of that, that'll be the first description. You can just go check it out. You don't have to buy it. And like I said, being dissatisfied is basically the foundation to everything, because when you're dissatisfied, you naturally want to make progress. You naturally want to be productive because you have a reason to basically shoot this dart to the bullseye. So I want to tell you the story that will really help you understand this, which is a few weeks ago, or I was going to say a few weeks ago, but I've had this crush on this girl for a while. But I've had this crush on this girl for a while, and recently I've spoken to her, and since I've buzzed my hair and since I've basically lost kind of my attractiveness point, I have this dissatisfaction where I knew that I could get her, but if I become more attractive, if I work harder, if I train harder, if I become more disciplined, if I make more money and therefore become more confident because I got the money and because I've got discipline, I'm going to be able to attract her. I'm going to become her #1 option, and I'm going to attract more girls, get respect from other people, and basically just get all of this if I just train harder and work harder. And that's an example of dissatisfaction where I know I could be here, but I'm over here where it's kind of bad, it's kind of grey, it's kind of gloomy. Where over here, the grass is greener, it's sunny, and it's so nice to be here. My dissatisfaction literally excelled the comfort that I got from just laying in my bed. Because I kept kind of telling myself that, oh, if I work, I'll get this. If I don't work, I'll get this. Imagine if I can lay in my bed, but it's going to feel comfortable, but I'm not going to get any result, and I'm going to keep beating myself up for not doing any work. So it basically became like normal. It basically became stupid not to get up from my bed. And it literally only takes 2 minutes to visualize this. So I'm going to do it with you together right now. It literally only takes 2 minutes. So literally just close your eyes and visualize your dream life. Where you have like 5 unread messages from girls. at school or wherever you go, like girls hold your eye contact that they're actually attracted to you. You're confident, you're social, you're smart, you got a business that's working, you're productive, you're actually happy that you're productive and you got girls that are into you. You feel like you're living the dream life. And when you really add emotion and you really visualize it vividly, you visualize the exact rooms, you visualize the exact phone you're going to be holding, the exact feeling of the phone you're going to be holding, that's when your visualization really, really become almost like a reality in your mind. And that's when it starts to believe it, and therefore it's going to become more powerful when you really add emotion to this. Now, I want you to do the same visualization, but with your current self. Right now, you're probably not making that much money. I'm just going to give myself as an example. Right now, I'm not making that much money. I'm pretty confident, but I could be way better. I don't get that much attraction from girls. I could speak to them, but I could look better and get more attraction from girls. I could do other things, right? Like my mom's not retired. Like all these online entrepreneurs tell you, like my mom is not retired. And the reason I say this is because I see her every single day wake up at 7 a.m. to work. And I remember this one time she told me that she hated her work, but she has to do it anyway. That's one of my motives, and it might be one of your motives too. So really visualize your current life as well. Visualize the pain. Like you could be at this other area. And that's exactly the contrast you want to see. You want to see your current life compared to the life you could be living, your dream life. When you really contrast these and you can like make it a norm in your mind, or at least how I made a norm in my mind from just visualizing and keep repeating this visualization and this contrast in my mind. That's when I realized like my life is horrible and I could be here if I just get up and do the work. So every single morning, I literally almost visualize in my dream life where I could be with this girl, where I could be doing this. And you want to almost visualize tangible things. You want to visualize like things that you could achieve. Like you could become more confident with these exact friends. You can become the boyfriend of this girl. Like really, really precise things. That's when my motive exceeded the amount of pleasure that I would get if I just stay laying in my bed. And I found this is basically the foundation to just being productive and doing anything. Because I remember the time where I would just cycle in and out, kind of being productive with the tactics I knew, but then stop because I didn't really have a motive. Now I know that it's because I didn't have a motive. Before I just thought it was like, oh, I'm lacking discipline. I just try to work harder, but then that just made it worse and worse and worse. And eventually to a point where I did get the motive. So for example, I remember this one time I hopped in a call with one of, you would call it a sales rep for someone. And he was telling me like, oh, you're doing really bad right now. Obviously, he didn't tell me that, like, you're bad. He just said, like, oh, you're doing really bad. You could be doing this. You don't really have a clear plan. And he almost gave me a slap to my face. I realized, like, oh, shit, I don't have a plan. I'm basically doing nothing. I'm just making no progress. It made a slap to my face, and it made me realize how badly I'm working, which was a dissatisfaction. And it made me get back onto my trend. And this was exactly when I learned that, oh, I needed a motive. I just kept going. Just to mention, when I did do that visualization and I kept doing it every single day and I kept repeating and basically making it a norm in my mind, that's when basically being productive, making progress just became easy for me. So you can just copy me or you can just not do it and not get the benefits. So you might as well just do it. It literally takes you 2 minutes. You can just go back in the video and do it again if you haven't done it. And now if you really did that visualization, you will probably feel a lot of dissatisfaction towards the life that you're living and the life that you could be living. Remember that dart analogy I told you a few minutes ago? You're probably somewhat just spinning around hoping that you hit the bullseye, hoping that you're going to hit your goals. And this doesn't come from just assumption. I've literally had guys DM me, like, I've asked them, oh, so what are your goals? And they just tell me, like, random, not tangible things. They tell me, like, oh, I want to improve myself. I want to get into the gym. I want to get more consistent with my habits. I want to retire my family. I want to escape the 9 to 5. They're good goals, but they're basically like level 1 goals. They're like okay goals. Or at least you're heading somewhere. But what I've realized are more valuable are December goals, which is basically where you set a goal for December this year. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I got these 3 main goals I have for the end of this year, which are basically the 3 main goals that are going to change my life the most. And the reason you make these tangible and the reason you want to have these is because you allow your success mechanism to work. Remember, you literally have a success mechanism in you that's literally actively wanting to make you succeed. That's why whenever you feed your success mechanism anything negative, literally your success mechanism is just a success mechanism. Like whatever goal you put it will reach, it will try to achieve. If you put in that you're going to be shy, that you're going to be tense around the girl, you're most likely that's what's going to happen. If you visualize yourself, oh, I'm going to be more confident, I'm going to have good posture, you visualize yourself that you've already spoken to her, you're way more likely to speak to her in a way more confident way. That's exactly what happened to me with that girl that I spoke in that trip. So this is exactly what I want you to do, and it literally only takes 2 minutes and it's going to literally benefit you for the rest of your life. So open up your notes tab on your phone and write down 3 main goals. So these 3 main goals will be what would change your life the most. and they're probably going to be related to something to health, wealth, and relationship. So for example, mine are literally exactly health, wealth, or relationship. Mine is with health, it's going to 56 kilograms. I want to weigh more because I want to build more muscle and I want to bulk up a little bit. I also want to attract 10 girls, at least have 10 girls that are into me, and that comes under the umbrella of actually looking good and improving my life. And with money, it's making 1K per month by December. It might be a crazy goal, but these are three main goals that will change my life the most. And you want to have somewhat similar goals, like tangible goals that are actually achievable. Not just, for example, looking better. I don't want you to have like a goal that says looking better. You want to have a goal that says at least have 10 girls that are into me. That's exactly why I wrote it, because it's almost like tangible, something that I can visibly get, something that I can visibly see. Remember, this gives you a general direction of where to go. You're no longer just shooting in the dark. You're actually shooting with a straight line of fire. So now you're no longer shooting in the dark. You're actually shooting and trying to hit this bullseye. But remember, you're still spinning. That's why you need to make these goals tangible, or else the next step of you stop spinning will actually make it work for you. You need to actually make these tangible so the next step actually works for you, which is finding the constraint. I do want to mention, if you're watching this video when it is December, because right now it's July. Right now, if you're watching this in July, you could just set the goals for this December. It might be a little bit shorter, but you will still benefit from them. But if you're watching this in December already, then you might as well just set it for the next year. I know it sounds basic, but someone might benefit from it. Lastly, you need to stop spinning. So right now, you've taken this metaphorical blindfold off by actually having your clear goals and letting your success mechanism work, but you're still spinning. You're not really focusing on anything. You're just kind of hoping that you hit the bullseye. And that's where the theory of constraints come in. What is the number one thing that's holding you back from achieving that goal? For example, for me, with attracting 10 girls, it's literally just me looking better. Oh, what's going to make me look better? My physique? Yeah, maybe my physique could be something, but it's going to take a while to build, so I just have to train hard. My jawline? Not really. My jawline's okay. My eyebrows? Definitely not. I literally just pluck them, so it's definitely not my eyebrows. Oh, it's probably my acne. That's literally how most people, they literally just kind of try to look smacks or do whatever, with just kind of going in blindly without any plan. So now that I have literally a clear plan, it's like my acne is the main constraint for my looks. For my business, before it was just literally just working. Just do the work to actually get the videos out, to actually get the results that I want. So think to yourself, what are the constraints for your goals? Right now you have some clear goals. They could be related to health, wealth, or relationship. Now you have to think, what are the constraints for them? I hope you are understanding what constraints are, right? They are the thing that if you get rid of, it's going to push you way closer to your goals. It's basically what's going to change your life the most relative to your goal, if that makes sense. So for example, for me, if I get rid of my acne, that will really, really boost my looks. Compared to if I like pluck my eyebrows, it's going to like, yeah, it might give me a slight benefit, but compared to me clearing my acne, it's going to really change. And when you have your constraint really clear, that's when you can actually start researching it and actually leveling up that area. Instead of having to go through thousands of videos hoping that you get one lesson, you actually know what to search for. For example, for me, I now search on how to get rid of acne. Instead of just looking at these random looks and maxing videos, hoping that I'll get a random insight that might help me, I stopped looking at random business videos. I actually focus on the videos of, for example, being productive and making a good product, because those are my two constraints right now. And now you actually start making huge progress, or at least for me, I actually started making huge progress. I actually started getting results in business. I actually started looking better. I actually started getting attraction from girls. And that was because I actually started focusing on the constraints. And I keep repeating this because, oh my gosh, I can't tell you. This is probably one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned in such a long time. Literally, having just clear goals and focusing on constraint, and obviously being dissatisfied. So not spinning, not shooting into the dark, and also just having a motive to shoot. Every single day you want to literally open up this notes app and see your goals and think to yourself, oh, what is the constraint? And really basically put all your focus in it. Because remember, your constraint is the thing that if you get rid of or you get, it's really going to push you the most. It's really going to get the highest ROI. So why wouldn't you focus on it if it's going to give you the best results? And I do want to mention, with all this knowledge that you're getting, you're probably going to make a really huge progress, and or at least it has worked for me. I want you to remember how most normal people just go around their lives. They just want to get rich. They just want to lose weight without any plan. They just kind of vaguely see it and hope they get it. So with all this knowledge, I really hope you took action on it. And if you did, you will. I know you'll make huge progress. And I know if I'm watching this video, I'll probably be a pussy and not take action on it. But I really don't want you to be a pussy. I really want you to take action and actually level up and not just consume mindlessly, but actually benefit from this video. So if you did find some value in this video, remember you can go in the first thing in the description. It will be my paid one-to-one mentorship, where you can just basically do the work that would usually take you 1 week and 1 day, which you can really check it out. First thing in the description. The third link in the description, I forgot to mention it before, but that's basically my free community. You can just join. So I'll see you in there. And I just want to mention this again. bro, if you do take action on this, I will tell you, it's probably one of the best, most valuable things that I've learned in my whole entire life. Literally focusing on constraints and just setting goals. Because with that, I just let my success mechanism work, and just I naturally get business ideas. I naturally get ideas to improve my life. It's great. Because most people just kind of hopefully they just keep watching looks maxing videos, hopefully hoping that they look better, and then they do take action on anything, and they feel like they feel like they're being productive, and then they do nothing. So I really don't want you to be like that, and I really hope you found some value in this video. So if you did take action, I'm proud of you. If you didn't, stop being a pussy and take action.